Okay, so quite a few people wanted me to talk about this specific thing, and to be honest, I kind of wanted to hold off on it just in case like it was expanded upon in the next coming chapters. And at the time, it wasn't really expanded upon, it was just kind of a panel shown. And as you guys can tell by the title, we're going to be talking about the spinal structure at the back of the moon that we saw in chapter 167 of One Punch Man. And obviously, we know that in this chapter, we saw that, the only reason we could see this is because in the direction that we are facing, which is the back of the moon, we were also seeing Saitama and Garou clash, whilst Blast and the other group were trying to keep them in from destroying the earth. And we saw that after that, obviously, Saitama and Garou got sent to Io, and all that stuff happened on Io. Saitama did like a serious sneeze and like destroyed like the gas planet known as Jupiter. And we know that, and also I kind of want to talk about that as well, the fact that a lot of people try to downplay that feat of Saitama sneezing away a gas planet. And I've actually heard something that apparently like Jupiter compared to the earth is like a nickel compared to like a basketball. So I mean, the fact that he was able to just sneeze this place away, which is like quadruple, even probably more than that, the size of earth, is like an incredible feat. Sorry, that was a tangent, but back to what we were talking about. Now, the structure on the back of the moon is quite, to me, or personally to me, it's pretty obvious that it's going to be God. Now, a lot of people are also speculating that this could be another monster that we could be seeing, and I highly doubt that, because I mean, it doesn't really look like it. And I mean, since it's the moon, we know that God has been linked to the moon several times in the series. So realistically, it would only make sense that God would be the person or the thing that is on the back of this moon or inside of the moon. And I kind of want to link this back to like when we saw like God in that fetal position in a different dimension, when Saitama, Monaco and Flashy Flash were like looking through this new dimension when they also came across the cube. And I feel like this is kind of them looking at God inside of the moon. I know this is really weird and it's kind of hard to word, but I'm sure a lot of you guys are kind of understanding what I'm trying to say here. Like Saitama and Monaco and Flashy Flash, when they were looking through like that new dimension or whatever, or what they were looking at, it was actually God inside of the moon here. And I'm sure this is like maybe God's physical form, or maybe God is trying to manifest his physical form inside of the moon, because I'm pretty sure that's like God's final goal, to like manifest into his final like physical form, since from what we know so far, God doesn't have like a concrete full physical form yet. And the key word is yet, because I'm pretty sure by the end of the series, God is going to have a physical form, and that's going to lead into Saitama versus God at the end of the series. And I'm sure everyone knows that Saitama is going to win that fight. And of course, God is probably going to be like the strongest character we've ever seen or come across in the series, because one, his name is God. I've made a few videos in the past about God and why he's like gonna be the strongest character, but I'm sure that was like pretty early on when I started the channel, so maybe some of you guys might not have seen the video. But all in all, basically what I just said is I thought God was gonna be the first God level threat that we come across in the series, but I mean, I guess some people are starting to say that Cosmic Fear Garou is a God level threat, and don't get me wrong, I totally agree with that. Like the feats that Cosmic Garou showed when he was fighting off against Saitama or even on the earth were pretty crazy, and I would say they are God level feats, because I mean, he was able to copy Saitama's like death punch, and I'm pretty sure if that death punch connected, it would destroy like the world, like the entire earth. That's pretty much why Blast and like his other group decided to transport Garou and Saitama to like outside of, just outside of earth in space. So I mean, the fact that Garou was able to perform that already is like a God level feat in my opinion. And this kind of leads me to think that maybe God is going to be something above a God level threat, because since we've kind of already seen a God level threat, well, I mean, it's not like officially announced that Garou is a God level threat, but I would like to believe that there's a reason why Murata and One didn't include a threat level box when it came to Cosmic Fear Garou, because they didn't want to like just drop a God level threat like that. Because believe it or not, One Punch Man is not close to ending. One Punch Man still has quite a lot to cover, and considering it releases on like a 2-week basis, it's going to take even longer than that. Well, it's going to feel even longer than that. So I feel like they didn't want to drop it too early, but realistically we all know that that was like a God level feat, or that Garou is a God level threat. And as I was saying before, it leads me to believe that God might be above that. And I mean, I'm not complaining, because if there's like a thing above a God level threat, I would love that, because it would just mean more feats for Saitama. And I've been waiting the longest to just, and I know this might sound really petty and whatever, but I really want Saitama to scale above Goku. And I mean, I'm sure you guys can already tell I'm like a Saitama fanboy. Like I want Saitama to eventually scale above Goku, and I'm sure that's gonna happen, because I mean, Saitama, I know this is like a really old thing to say, like it's cliche, but Saitama is One Punch Man. Like there's no way I'm not gonna believe Goku is beating Saitama here. I'm sorry, I'm going on a bit of a tangent here, but you know, this video is mainly about God. But once again, as I was saying before, the structure behind the moon is, as I said before, most likely God, because I mean, you know, we've seen God back when Homeless Emperor got like a, you know, like an inner flashback in his head, or not really a flashback, but like an epiphany or whatever. But essentially, like God went into his head, or like God showed him when God was taking back his powers from Homeless Emperor. He like transported Homeless Emperor's mind to like this whole new space, and you know, we saw God on top of the moon, and he was talking to Homeless Emperor and said, you know, he's gonna take away his powers. And that's basically what he did to Garou as well in the recent chapter. We saw that whenever God doesn't like what you're doing, he just pretty much just kills you. And we saw that he killed off Homeless Emperor in a different way to Garou. Garou got turned into like salt, and you know, Homeless Emperor got burnt. So I'm sure, I guess that is, I'm sure that will be important later on. Maybe we'll understand why that is, you know, as we progress in the series. But God is a very mysterious character right now. They're like, God and Blast are like top 2 most mysterious characters in the series currently. Well, less so Blast, because we've seen that he's had some like expansion with like the whole Blast group and everything, but you know, God is still definitely like top 10 most mysterious characters in the series, and I stand by that. But that's pretty much all I have to say for this video, to be honest. Tell me what you guys think about God in the comments. Personally, I still think God is like, personally, I do, you know, once again, I do think God is the structure at the back of the moon. I've explained what I had to say in the video. Tell me what you think in the comments. You know, a lot of you guys have some pretty interesting theories, but apart from that, I'll see you in my next video.